Hi, everybody. My name is Eric. I am a targeted individual, victim of organized gang stalking, and a believer in the Lord Jesus Christ. Well, I'm making a series of videos about my health, my body, what I have done to stay alive. I talked about how I learned to cook my own food, eat in my own kitchen. I talked about a candida infestation that was off the charts, the symptoms. I talked about gut biome, friendly bacteria in the intestines, how important that is for me. Today I want to talk about my skin. I want to talk to you about strange things that happen to my skin. Started a few years back. Took me a long time to figure this one out. Now, the first sign, of course, was that I was always sensitive to laundry soap. There was just one commercial laundry soap that I could use that wouldn't make me itch. So I've stayed with that. And lawn and dish soap, I haven't had any problem with that either. But soaps, shampoos, anything that goes on my skin, I have changed the way I take care of this skin. Basically, the first thing I learned was from the women on the internet who are in what you would call the no poo movement. These women are extremely sensitive, almost allergic to ointments, perfumes, skin creams, soaps, shampoos, any kind of cosmetics. They break out in all kinds of hives and all sorts of terrible things. So they're in the no poo movement. And my wife was alive then. I told her, I said, "Hey, baby," I said, "we're going to go no poo." She was so happy because, she was always a natural girl anyway. But that still meant that I had to figure out how I was going to cleanse my body. I will talk about that in a minute. Let me continue with some of the things that I had to go through. Well, at one point, I had terrible itching. In all the crevices, all the wrinkles, wherever there's folds in my skin, I had itching. I would scratch it. It wouldn't be relieved. I'd have to scratch it again. And in time, I started having all sorts of scabs. My skin got really dry. I'm like going, this is on my legs. This is on my arms. And then coupled with that is that I felt like there's little teeny wiggling things under my skin. And they would move. And it would feel like something was biting me. Now, that was really annoying and it was alarming. I looked it up. I said, I don't know what this is. Then one day, when I was looking at my arm, and I noticed that I could peel the skin back, underneath was a milky layer. I don't want to call it pus, but it was not very good looking, something you don't want to see under your skin. And inside that were little wiry clumps, a network of fibrous material. So I was, what? And I started picking at it, and I would pull out these little nests of fibers, and they had barbs on them. It was very hard to extract them. Now, 5 or 6 of those, I started looking on the internet. It's Morgellons disease. I'm like, oh no. Yes, the wiggling under my skin, those fibers, Morgellons disease, all that chaffing, all that scabbing. But at the same time, because I had a serious candida infection, the infestation, it goes everywhere, candida. there were people saying you can have candida under your skin. Anywhere where there's moisture, since candida is the bacteria that breaks down our body dust to dust, it's if you're in the grave, your body is being eaten up by candida. When it's in a live body, it's not good. But that's what they said. So I figured I had candida and I had Morgellons. Well, what did I do? I had to figure out something. So I bathed like the Romans, like the Egyptians. I designed for myself a concoction of oils. This oil here, well, it's made of several things. It is made of high quality olive oil. The base is high quality coconut oil. I use high quality avocado oil, vitamin E, and we use neem oil. Neem oil kills parasites, any kind of foreign life, bacteria. Neem oil. And a local favorite, kukui nut oil, which the Hawaiians have always used. Being in a tropical zone, you know, we are prone to having all sorts of parasites and whatnot here on this island because of the weather. And this, of course, tea tree oil. That's probably the strongest. It's fairly expensive. But I lay the strength of my concoction to tea tree oil. Now, every couple months, I still do this. I take the oil, I strip down to the buff, and I just rub it into my skin. And it gets into my pores, and it feels so good. It's a little oily. It stays on for a couple days, you know. You feel like you're sweating a little bit too much, like you're a little too hot, like you're not clean. But it's refreshing. For me, it's refreshing. And I do my hair. And I noticed that these symptoms started to become relieved. It only took a couple, 3 times. At first, I did it for about 2 weeks straight. I was very scared. Nobody wants to have these kind of symptoms, on their body. So I worked very hard to stay alive. So every few days, and then I would go out into the sun and roast, let that oil get deep into my skin. And I would walk. I mean, we're talking walking, getting hot, sweating, getting all the stuff, excreting all these toxins, drinking water, flushing my skin. It worked. My skin doesn't itch at all. There is no chafing, no scabs. If I scrape my arm against something, the skin doesn't just break off. I'm feeling really good about what I've learned about my skin. And in terms of soap, Dr. Bonner's. Everybody knows Dr. Bonner's. I don't use it all the time when I'm in the shower, but sometimes for my hands. If I feel particularly dirty, I'll use Dr. Bonner's soap. It's, what do they call it, Castile soap? Yeah. And the same with toothpaste, Dr. Bonner's toothpaste. This is what I use. It's got no fluoride. There's nothing artificial in any of their products. But let's see. When I had those infections on my skin, I would rinse them off with the hydrogen peroxide. And there's 2 options for an infection like that. Here's the natural version. This is tea tree salve. You could get this in all sorts of different from different places. Tea tree salve is very potent. This is mixed with other things, but for small little things, I use it. In my ears or something, I use this. Now this, mupirocin, I forget, I got the sticker over it. It's a commercial pharmaceutical antibiotic. Here in Hawaii, we have staph infections. This is a tropical zone. So here, this is the good stuff, and guaranteed. I actually love this stuff. I don't usually endorse anything commercial or pharmaceutical, but nobody likes to be sick. One touch of that stuff, and whatever infection is on my skin is gone. So I keep a tube around. And so I think that's about it. I think that's the subject at hand. Any questions? Leave a comment. I'll be answering it. May the Lord be with us. May we all enjoy good health. God bless. Bye-bye.